You know what's funny? Sometimes the smallest things, the little habits or quirks, can end up meaning the most. It's not always the big gestures that guys notice, it's those cute little things women do without even realizing it. And the truth is, men may not say it out loud, but they secretly love them. The way she laughs at his jokes, even when they are not that funny, holds a deeper meaning than most people realize. For a man, humor is often tied to his sense of identity, his confidence, and the way he connects with others. When a woman laughs at his jokes, it doesn't always mean the joke itself was worthy of a stand-up show, but it does mean she's paying attention, she's engaged, and she's choosing to see him in a light that makes him feel good about himself. This simple act communicates encouragement and validation, two things that men quietly crave in a world where they often feel pressured to perform, achieve, and keep up a certain image. That laugh tells him he doesn't have to be perfect. He just has to be himself. And that's enough to win her reaction. It's not about being polite or faking interest either. It's about the warmth that shows through when she finds amusement in his attempts, even if those attempts fall flat. It's that warmth that lingers with him long after the moment is over. Think about how humor works in relationships. It's not always about the clever punchline or a witty comeback. More often, it's about the connection behind the words. When she lets herself laugh at the way he tries to make her smile, it bridges the gap between them. He feels seen not as a performer, but as a partner who matters. That's why it's so powerful. The laugh is not just sound, it's energy, it's affirmation. It's a way of saying, I enjoy you, I like being around you, and I want you to keep showing me more of who you are. Men don't always express this openly, but that kind of response plants a quiet confidence in him. It encourages him to share more of himself, to be more relaxed, and to deepen the bond without even realizing it. There's also something about the genuineness of the laugh that makes it special. Men can sense when laughter is forced, and while politeness might be appreciated, it doesn't hit the same way as when a woman truly lets go and laughs from a place of ease and comfort. That real laugh tells him that she feels safe enough to let down her guard, to be present in the moment, and to enjoy the interaction without overthinking. That safety is what keeps men drawn in, because they want to create more of those moments that make her feel that way. The laugh becomes less about the joke and more about the shared experience, a little piece of happiness that belongs only to the two of them. Even the timing of the laugh can play a role in how it's felt. When she bursts out unexpectedly, it surprises him, it lights him up, and it creates a memory he tucks away without even trying. Later, he'll think back on it and smile to himself because those moments matter. They stand out in his mind more than the big planned gestures. A laugh in the middle of an ordinary conversation can mean more than a grand expression because it shows joy in the everyday. And for men, knowing they can bring joy in the ordinary is a powerful feeling. The beauty of this small gesture is in how effortless it seems. She doesn't need to plan it, rehearse it, or think it through. It just happens naturally. And yet it carries weight far beyond what she realizes. That's why men secretly love it. They might not ever say, I love when you laugh at my jokes, but they feel it deeply, and it shapes the way they see her. It makes them want to protect that energy, to earn that laugh again and again, because it becomes a reward that touches more than just the ego. It touches the heart. Her playful teasing is one of those things that seems so small on the surface, but it carries a kind of power that men quietly admire and hold on to. It's not about being mean or putting him down. It's about the lighthearted jabs, the inside jokes, the little remarks that show she's comfortable enough to step out of formality and step into closeness. Playful teasing is an invitation into a private world where laughter is the language, where both people know there's affection underneath every word, and where connection feels effortless. When a woman teases a man in that playful way, it tells him she feels safe around him, she trusts him, and she enjoys creating moments that belong only to the two of them. For a man, this is something he doesn't always say out loud, but it makes him feel chosen, like she's letting him in on a secret version of her that not everyone gets to see. Playful teasing works because it lowers the pressure. Relationships can carry weight, expectations, and responsibilities, but teasing cuts through all of that with humor and ease. When she makes a fun remark about his quirks or jokes about something silly he does, it doesn't push him away. It actually draws him closer. It tells him she notices him, that she's paying attention, that she knows the little details that make him unique, and instead of criticizing them, she finds them endearing. That's why men secretly love it. It doesn't just feel like laughter, it feels like acceptance. And when someone feels accepted, they feel more confident to show up as their real self, flaws and all. There's also a spark that playful teasing creates, a spark of chemistry that can't be manufactured through serious conversations alone. Teasing adds play to the relationship, and play is what keeps things alive. Men might not express this directly, but they crave that energy. It reminds them of the carefree side of life, the side that feels less about problems and more about enjoying the moment. A woman who can tease him without crossing the line shows balance. She knows when to be serious and when to keep things light. That balance makes him feel like life with her won't always be heavy, that she knows how to find joy in the simple interactions. The best part of playful teasing is that it builds stories and memories. Inside jokes come from these little moments, and inside jokes become a language only the two of them speak. That private language creates intimacy because it's not something shared with the outside world. When he hears that one phrase or that one nickname she gave him, he can't help but smile because it ties him back to her. And it's in those small callbacks, those little reminders, that the connection deepens over time. Men love this more than they admit because it turns ordinary moments into something meaningful, something worth remembering. Playful teasing also gives men the chance to tease back, and this back and forth becomes a dance. It's a way of showing affection without having to be overly serious or dramatic. That dance is exciting, it's fun, and it creates a bond that feels youthful even as the relationship matures. A man who feels comfortable enough to join in that teasing knows he's not being judged harshly. He's being invited into laughter. That sense of invitation makes him want to stay because it feels good to be around someone who can laugh with him, not just at life's big moments, but in the little ones too. At its core, playful teasing isn't about words at all. It's about the feeling behind them. It's about knowing there's love underneath the laughter, trust underneath the jokes, and care underneath the sarcasm. That's why it means so much to men, even if they never say it out loud. It reassures them that the relationship isn't fragile, that it can handle jokes, that it can hold both lightness and depth. And when a man feels that kind of reassurance, he holds on to it because it tells him he's with someone who makes life feel better simply by being playful with him. Those random texts or check-ins during the day may seem like the smallest gestures, but they carry a weight that men rarely talk about. When a woman takes the time to reach out with a simple message, whether it's a "how's your day going?" or a little note that says "thinking about you," it can completely shift his mood. Men live in a world where they are often expected to be strong, focused, and self-reliant. And while they might carry that role well, it doesn't mean they don't feel the pressure of it. So when her name lights up his phone with a message that doesn't demand anything, that doesn't ask for more than a few seconds of his time, it feels like relief. It feels like someone cares about him, not for what he can do or what he can provide, but simply because he matters. That reminder is powerful, and it stays with him longer than she realizes. These small check-ins create a sense of presence even when she's not physically there. It's not about long conversations or heavy words. It's about knowing that she thought of him in the middle of her busy schedule. That thought alone makes him feel valued. Men might not always admit how much they love this, but deep down, those messages carry more meaning than the words on the screen. They're a way of saying, "You're on my mind." And that statement is one of the strongest bonds in a relationship. It shows consistency, care, and genuine interest, which are things that men may not voice but definitely crave. There's also something unexpected about these texts that adds to their impact. He might be sitting in traffic at his desk or going through a stressful situation, and suddenly a lighthearted message from her pops up. That moment can flip his whole day around. It becomes a little spark that cuts through monotony or frustration. He doesn't always reply with the same energy he feels, because men often don't express emotions in words as easily, but the appreciation runs deep. Just knowing that she cared enough to check in is often enough to keep him smiling quietly to himself. The timing of these small gestures matters less than the consistency. A message in the morning can set the tone for his day. A quick check-in during lunch makes him feel like she's walking beside him even when she's not. An evening note telling him she hopes he's doing okay gives him something warm to think about before he closes his eyes at night. It's not the length of the message that matters. It's the fact that it came from her, unprompted and with care behind it. That's what men secretly love, the thought that they're being remembered even when nothing specific is going on. Over time, these little check-ins become part of the relationship's rhythm. They create a pattern of reassurance, a signal that says, you matter every day, not just on special days. Men may not always ask for this, and some may even act like they don't need it. But the truth is, it feeds something inside them. It gives them a sense of belonging, a reminder that they're not alone in carrying the weight of the day. Those random texts make them feel lighter, more connected, and more motivated to give back that same energy. The beauty of this small act lies in its simplicity. It doesn't require effort beyond a few seconds, yet it holds a significance that outlasts bigger gestures. He remembers those times she reached out, and it shapes how he sees her. It shows him she's thoughtful, caring, and invested in the little things that make love real. And while he may never say, I love when you text me out of nowhere, the quiet truth is that those words on a screen, those check-ins that seem routine to her, mean far more to him than she will ever know. When she steals his hoodie or jacket, it may look like a simple, playful act, but underneath it lies a meaning that men secretly treasure. A piece of clothing on its own doesn't carry much emotional weight, but when she takes it and wraps herself in it, it becomes something more. It becomes a symbol of closeness, a reminder that she wants to carry a part of him with her, even in something as ordinary as fabric. For a man, seeing her in his hoodie is one of those small joys he doesn't talk about because it makes him feel wanted, needed, and appreciated. It's not about the hoodie itself. It's about the message behind it, the unspoken statement that she feels comfort in his presence, even when he isn't right next to her. There's a possessiveness to it that men quietly admire. Not the kind that feels suffocating, but the kind that tells him she's proud to show that she's his. When she wears his hoodie out in public or even just lounging around at home, it signals to him that she likes being connected to him in a way that's visible, even subtle. That silent claim feels good to him because it reassures him she values the bond they share. It may sound silly, but that oversized hoodie becomes more than clothing. It becomes proof that she wants to hold on to him, that she chooses him in small, ordinary moments. Men notice this even if they don't put it into words, and it matters more than she realizes. Another reason men love this small act is the sense of intimacy it creates. When she pulls on his hoodie, she's not just covering herself, she's wrapping herself in his scent, his warmth, and the feeling of safety that comes with it. He knows that hoodie doesn't smell like fabric softener to her, it smells like him, and that makes her feel at ease. For a man, knowing he can bring her comfort without even being there is a powerful thing. It gives him a sense of purpose, a feeling that his presence extends beyond his physical self, that even in his absence, he can still make her feel safe. That's the kind of connection men secretly crave, and it's hidden in moments like this. There's also a playful side to it that men find irresistible. Watching her tug at sleeves that are too long, seeing her lost in a hoodie that's obviously oversized, creates a mix of charm and cuteness that he stores away in his mind. It's the kind of image that sticks with him because it feels personal and unique. No one else gets to see her that way, relaxed, cozy, and completely herself. It's a version of her that belongs to him, and that sense of exclusivity makes the act even more meaningful. It's a reminder that she's comfortable enough to take something of his and make it her own, and that comfort is the foundation of connection. The act of stealing his hoodie also represents balance in the relationship. On the surface, it looks like a playful act of taking something that isn't hers, but in reality, it's a quiet exchange. She takes his hoodie, but she gives him something back in return. The satisfaction of knowing she values his presence, his touch, and the warmth he represents. Men secretly love this balance because it reminds them that love isn't just about big gestures or dramatic declarations. It's about the little give and take moments that build intimacy over time. Each time she reaches for his hoodie, it reinforces that unspoken cycle of giving and receiving, and that's something he cherishes. It's also a memory maker. Years later, he won't remember every dinner or every movie night, but he'll remember how she looked curled up on the couch in his hoodie, or how she smiled when she put it on for the first time. Those little snapshots linger because they're tied to emotion, to the quiet but powerful feeling of being loved in a way that doesn't need words. For men, those memories matter. They're the ones he replays in his head when he's apart from her, the ones that remind him of the bond they share. A hoodie may be simple fabric, but in the context of love, it becomes something that carries emotion far deeper than the material it's made from. The small gestures of affection, like fixing his hair, touching his arm, or slipping her hand into his, are the kinds of moments that men secretly love the most because they feel so genuine and effortless. These aren't grand romantic displays or dramatic acts that demand attention. They're subtle, quiet, and almost invisible to the outside world, but to him, they speak louder than words. When she reaches up to brush his hair out of his eyes, it's not just about fixing something, it's about showing care in a way that feels intimate. When she touches his arm while laughing or talking, it sends a message that she feels close enough to connect physically without hesitation. When her hand slips into his while walking, it tells him she wants that bond to be felt in a way that no one can miss. These small gestures carry more meaning than she may ever realize because they are constant reminders that she chooses him in the simplest ways. Men often live in environments where physical affection isn't common. They're expected to be tough, focused, and sometimes emotionally reserved, and for that reason, small touches from someone they love mean more than they will admit. A hand on his shoulder or fingers brushing against his while sitting together gives him something grounding, a reminder that he's not alone in his space. He might act casual about it, but deep down those little touches settle him, reassure him, and make him feel valued without needing a long conversation. That's the quiet power behind these gestures. They don't require planning or effort, but they carry a depth that men hold on to. What makes these moments so impactful is the spontaneity behind them. They're not rehearsed, they're not timed, they're not calculated, they happen naturally, and that's why they feel real. When she casually reaches out to fix his collar or gently places her head on his shoulder, it's not for show, it's because she feels drawn to him. For a man, that kind of natural affection tells him he's not just a provider or a partner in name, he's someone she truly feels comfortable around. That comfort translates to security, and security is one of the things men long for most in love, even if they rarely say it. These gestures also create moments of connection in silence. Not every meaningful exchange needs words. Sometimes the strongest reassurance comes from a squeeze of the hand or a soft touch on the back. Men appreciate these quiet forms of communication because they bypass the need to explain emotions, something that can often feel difficult. Instead, the affection speaks directly to the heart, and it tells him everything he needs to know. It says she's present, she cares, she's here with him, and she's not afraid to show it. Those signals, though small, carry an impact far beyond their size. Another layer to this is how these gestures make men feel seen. When she notices a strand of hair out of place or a wrinkle in his shirt and takes the time to fix it, it tells him she's paying attention, that she notices details about him that others overlook. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. He feels cared for in a way that's nurturing without being overbearing, and that nurturing awakens something in him. Men don't always admit how much they want to feel cared for, but when these small actions happen, they leave an impression that lingers long after. Over time, these little touches build a kind of rhythm in the relationship, a language spoken without words. He comes to recognize that when she reaches for his hand, it's her way of saying she's with him. When she touches his arm, it's her way of saying she's engaged in the moment. When she brushes his hair aside, it's her way of saying she wants him to look and feel his best. This language becomes part of the fabric of their bond, and it makes him feel deeply connected to her. It's not about the size of the gesture, it's about the meaning tucked into it. That's why men quietly love these small acts. They make them feel chosen, cared for, and loved in ways words can't fully capture.